in. Dave's behind the camera. We're the NC Beer guys. Welcome to another episode of NC Beer Buzz. We had to come a long way from home today. We came down to Fuquay-Varina to the brand new Fainting Goat Brewing Company, and we're here with co-founder and brewer Tim Reichert. Thanks for having us in. This is going to be great.
Thanks for coming out. Appreciate it.
And these guys have been open for a little while now, soft opening, kind of feeling their way along. And a couple weekends ago, they had their big grand opening, and I hear it was a great success. Dave made it down. I didn't.
Yep.
That was great. That must feel good after the softness is great, but to really officially be open and going.
Absolutely. We when we first started, we wanted to have a grand opening in the spring, so we wanted to feel our way out, fix the mistakes, and learn our way through. So
that's great.
Turned out great.
But we were hearing lots of good things even before you got quote officially grand opened.
Right.
So
yeah, it's been quite the run.
It feels good. You got to feel good.
It's great.
Because I don't know, we're going to get into a minute where you came from, what you thought, but you don't know until you open the doors.
Exactly.
Until the people come in. And it's not friends and family anymore drinking your home brew.
Right.
It's the real public.
That's right.
And whether your ambiance is going to hit or whether everything else is going to hit, you don't know.
Right.
But it sounds just like it would be great.
Yeah.
So how do we come to be the Fainting Goat?
Well, I started homebrewing. We did extract batches in the kitchen. Somewhere around 2010, I came back from a deployment and needed a hobby, so I picked it up.
So you were active duty?
I was active duty. Well, I'm full-time National Guard, and I still am.
Okay.
Right. So I started homebrewing in the kitchen, and then went to all grain in the garage. And the recipes got scaled, and here we are. We have a one-barrel batch, one-barrel system right now, all electric, and we're about to upgrade to 2 barrels within the next probably 1 month. Yep.
That's great. That's good.
Yep.
So when did you? What was the motivation for the decision to go from just a home brewer to really doing it professionally?
Just a lot of friends and family, co-workers pushing, you know, encouraging us. They like the beer, and like you said earlier, it's one thing when your friends drink your home brew.
Well, yeah, a lot of people drink free beer and love it.
Absolutely.
I mean, you know, they're always drinking beer.
But we had a lot of support. The American Legion Post here in town, a lot of friends, and they still come in. And I met up with my partner, MaryAnn.
Tell us about the partnership. How did that come to be, and what did she bring to the
Well,
table?
our kids played hockey together. Gosh, it's been.
And you guys were local to Fuquay?
10, 15 years ago, we were.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm from Anger. MaryAnn's from Fuquay. Kids played hockey together. We became family friends. We've known each other 12, 15 years now. And MaryAnn's an entrepreneur. She's had several businesses, so it was a perfect fit.
So she knew more and knows more of the business side of things, I guess.
Yes.
She comes and kind of runs the business, does the books, taxes, all the stuff that.
Yeah, MaryAnn does everything. Yep, she helps brew. She gets the beer. She gets the grain milled. She gets it in the mash for me when I show up in the afternoon. I can finish. But mainly she runs the business, manages the tap room, does the taxes, takes care of all the business side of the house.
Well, that's great. So she was a great compliment to your skills.
Absolutely wonderful. Yes.
So you guys were drinking and friends and knew.
Right. Actually, MaryAnn was a Coors Light drinker, and we've converted her to craft beer.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Good for you.
She just went on a beer tour to Asheville, and she's having a great time with it. So.
Well, that's great. Well, everybody's on their journey somewhere along the way, the craft beer journey, figuring it out.
Right.
So you never considered not doing Fuquay then?
We looked at Anger. We considered it. We've good friends over there with White Rabbit, and Anger's a very small town. So we looked at Fuquay, and then we decided on the Fuquay side versus the Varina side. There's already 3 other local breweries here in Fuquay. They're all great. Everybody brings something different to the table, and this side of town seemed to be lacking.
And if you are not familiar with Fuquay-Varina, or if you don't know where Fainting Goat is, we're on South Main, almost as you're leaving the old Fuquay. And for you guys who don't know the history, it used to be kind of 2 towns. Varina, up where Aviator Smokehouse is more like Varina.
Right.
We're down as you're leaving on 401 or Main Street, almost as you're heading out of town. There's some past here. It's in the old gun shop.
Right.
For people who know, coming out of town, over on the right was the old gun shop, and beyond this is residential, and you hit the highway.
Right.
So the last stop out of town can be Fainting Goat.
That's right.
So where did the name come from?
Some years ago, I developed a condition that's called laughter-induced syncope.
Laughter-induced syncope.
Syncope is just another word for fainting.
So this is a real thing.
This is a real thing. My friends love it, and they started nicknaming me the Fainting Goat. They try to get me to do it whenever possible.
And so it's like a bar trick in some way.
Absolutely.
I mean, it wasn't funny to you, maybe.
Right. Not funny at all. I tell everybody it's no laughing matter.
Because you do finally,
I will actually pass out, yeah.
So. But it's just something about the air exchange?
Yeah, I'm blowing out air, and I clench up and just hit the dirt. Normally I spill a beer, hit my head. So it doesn't happen very often anymore. Right.
So you were the Fainting Goat?
I am the Fainting Goat, yes.
And just decided what a great name, because when you go to name things, you got to be something somebody else is not.
Breweries are so hard to name nowadays with over 4,000 in the United States. You
already had the nickname, so why not brand it? And then you can take it to any number of places and do any kind of number of things.
Exactly, and we can't keep merchandise on the shelves. People love the logo.
That's great. That's good. That's good. So let's talk about the beer.
All right.
How many are we planning to keep on tap, and how often?
I've got 8 taps right now.
Are these going to be flagships or some flagships?
Most of them are flagships. Are What the Buck American Pale Ale is a flagship. You're drinking the Horny Honey. That's a flagship. The
I love the triple.
Yeah, the triple we'll normally have. We're out of it right now, but we'll have it back on in a couple weeks. We do a pecan maple porter in the fall. We swap that out with our Butthead Brown Ale right now. And we also are planning to do a Fluffernutter Porter. We've done it on the small homebrew scale. We're going to scale it up and do it for October 9th.
And most of these are your recipes?
They are. All of them are, yep.
And what's coming up on the 9th?
October 9th is National Fluffernutter Day.
Fluffernutter
So we're
Day.
Releasing our Fluffernutter Porter that weekend.
So you guys go to Google that, figure out what that is.
Yeah.
Right.
So
that's right.
We just did a double IPA test batch. Pretty sure we're not going to change a whole lot. We'll keep that.
It seems to be hitting.
It's very good. It's dry hopped with Amarillo.
Good. So. Speaking of the partnership there.
Right. So.
And when you came into this, of course, as a home brewer, you had recipes. You had things that you knew worked on a small scale. Right. Was there some challenge in stepping up to a larger volume?
I was actually very fortunate. I used Beersmith. And once I programmed our 1-barrel system into Beersmith, all the recipes scaled. The only thing that doesn't scale linear is the hop utilization factor, so that took a little bit of playing with. And honestly, right now we're dealing with a Saaz hop shortage, so we're having to substitute different types of hops to make up for that. So the beers are ever evolving, and they've gone through a couple changes, but I think we've got everything just about where we want it right now. Very happy with it.
Oh, that's great. So when you decided, back to our previous thread, you decided to do Fuquay, not Andrew, or not anywhere else. I mean, you do Fuquay because it's kind of home, it's where you belong. And there were some other things going on in town already, because you know, a few years back there was one.
Sure.
Then there was 2 or 3 or 4.
Right.
And it's kind of a happening place for beer. Did that encourage you or discourage you?
It encouraged us because we wanted to help make Fuquay a beer destination. And we got a lot of people now that come in and they'll hit all 4 breweries in the day. We always send people to White Rabbit over in Andrew. They're good friends of ours. And then you have this whole corridor with Holly Springs and Apex that's just blowing up. And we feel like this is the perfect place for beer right now.
So they can start at Lincoln and work their way through town and come out of this end.
Right.
Well, that's great.
Yep. So.
Well, we've always said that the beer community is so much more like a community than it is a competitive situation anyway.
It is, it really is. And it's almost a family. Whenever I need something, I can call Ken at White Rabbit, or I can call the guys at Scott & Scott over at Draftline.
Yeah,
I need a 50-pound bag of 2-row, and they're here in 10 minutes with it. So.
Or repair.
Right, exactly.
You know, or what do I do? I mean, just because you don't know everything, and nobody does going into it.
That's right.
And they don't know everything, but between the collective minds of everybody, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, it's
to have that synergy too.
Right.
That's good.
Yeah, we've not had a single problem yet. So.
All right. So when is the tap room open? It's beautiful layout.
We're open Thursdays and Fridays. Right now we open at 4:30 till about 11, and then Saturdays we open at 1 o'clock until midnight or so. In the next.
Not on Sundays.
Not on Sundays right now. We are going to add near the end of June. We'll be adding Sundays. And then eventually we'll be adding Wednesdays sometime in July.
Okay.
When we get the 2-barrel batch system up and running, we'll be brewing 6 barrels a week. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We'll be able to open Wednesdays and Sundays at that point.
In addition to the tap room, we've got a great patio area.
Absolutely.
It's beautiful out there.
Yep.
So they can come, rain or shine, and enjoy the location.
Yep. Mason Jar Tavern just opened across the street. Adam Espot does their beer selection from 919 Beer. And people come over here and wait for their table to be called, and it's a great relationship. This town's a wonderful community to be a part of.
Oh, that's great. And that must feel so welcoming.
Oh, it's terrific.
Feels like you kind of fell into it.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's great.
Yep.
We wish you all luck in the world.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for taking your time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming out. We appreciate you.
Good, good. Till next time, this is Dave and Glenn, the NC Beer Guys, another episode of NC Beer Buzz, reminding you to drink local and keep your beer dollars in North Carolina.